Greetings, every pony. I am the Dark Wizard Confuso, most powerful, evil wizard in all of Equestria. But thankfully for you puny mortals, I am reformed and have been living with Shutterbud for the past few years. We've tried to get along, but it's been oh so hard to be friends. So I've taken a little tip from Starlight Glimmer, a fellow reformed super wizard. Put a mind control spell on Shutterbud and some of the other ponies of Ponyville, and then I tried to do friendship things with them. I told Shutterbud to hang out with me and take some pictures. He immediately began removing pictures from all of their frames and taking them off of the walls upon which they were mounted and stuffing them in a bag, literally taking the pictures. When I realized that I had the power of mind control and that ponies would do anything I say literally, I began putting into reality several of my ship fates and forcing ponies to act out the relationships that I support. And then it got a little out of hand. Or is it out of hoof? No, I think it's out of hand. I've never been quite certain. The point is that mind-controlled slaves who do things literal aren't the best mind-control slaves. You really want to have servants who will do what they're told and have the intelligence to carry your instructions out in the way that they see fit and be able to adapt to unforeseen circumstances. If you're robbing a potion shop to get ingredients for that ultimate spell of destruction you've always wanted, and all of a sudden the Royal Guard shows up and you tell your mind-controlled servants to run, if you don't tell them where to run, servants who do things literally will just run without running in any particular direction. It's so much more convenient that if you tell your servants to run, that they will run away and return to the hideout rather than just literally running in circles and actually not being productive. It's just a bad thing to have servants who do things literally, and that's exactly what Starlight Glimmer learned the other day. You see, she had mind-controlled servants, and rather than taking advantage of them to make them fulfill her ultimate fantasies and help her take over Equestria or achieve some kind of greatness that she's always wanted achieved, she tried to get them to cooperate in a way that was orderly and organized, so she did get 5 friendship lessons done in an orderly fashion. The problem is She had to instruct 5 ponies to do 5 activities that she herself didn't know how to do properly. Only those 5 ponies knew how to do those 5 activities, and under the influence of mind control, they didn't have the imagination or free will to do their hobbies that they enjoy with Starlight and teach her what she needed to learn. She had to give them instructions and tell them to follow the instructions, which they ended up doing too literally. Pinkie Pie ended up cooking every single recipe in a cookbook without removing any of the recipes from the oven, and it started a mess. Rarity made a dress, but made it to exact scale of what was in the pitcher, the size the pitcher was, not the size that the dress in the pitcher would have been if had it been full size. And when told to make it bigger, she just went infinitely bigger without sorting out how big to make the dress. Applejack was told to summarize all of her family stories in one sentence, and ended up telling stories that made no sense whatsoever and left listeners cliffhung for more information. Fluttershy was told to gather all of the animals and literally gathered every living creature she could get her hooves on and brought them all to one location, whether they were welcomed creatures or not. Being technically animals, they were nevertheless gathered. And Rainbow Dash was probably the only one whose chillaxing could have been done anywhere in the castle with no consequences, so we never actually got to see that carried out. But when asked to bring water to put out the fire, she brought too much water and flooded the castle. Normally I'd rejoice in the destruction of public property, but this was an unfortunate series of events for Starlight Glimmer. She had to correct the mistakes that she made in cleaning up the mess. She did apologize to her friends and was able to win back their favor, though not all immediately. While ponies may be immediately forgiving of changelings, they are somewhat slower to forgive when they're hung over and suffering from the side effects of recent spells placed on them, and a little confused and still rightfully angry at what was done to them. Personally, if a pony had put me under mind control, I would not have forgiven them so easily either. If such a spell was ever cast on me, Starlight Glimmer would right now be transmogrified into a cheese sculpture of a llama. But that's just me. In the end, Starlight Glimmer learned her lesson, and Twilight Sparkle got to be something of the parent in this situation. I, on the other hand, have to do my own apologizing and reverse a certain spell before this whole picture-taking thing gets a little too out of control. Huh? Oh no, wait! It looks like I'm getting carried away!